What's up, guys? It's the Duel Factory once again with another video, and it's kind of crazy because I've posted 2 videos in 1 week, but I've had some extra free time, and I really wanted to get this deck profile out because I've had a lot of profiles I've been thinking about doing, and this one I actually got around testing and stuff like that, and I always put a hero deck profile up, but I haven't done it in a while, so I figure I'd go ahead and show you, especially since Stay Classy LLC, I don't know if any of you actually follow them, but they release metal field centers, and they're actually super high quality. You've seen some of them in my videos, one of them being the Thunder Dragon one, and I got the Stratos one. So I figured this would be a good time to do a hero deck profile, and I've seen a lot of people playing it on Dueling Book, but everyone's playing it differently, right? And there's people still playing Fusion Destiny, there's people still playing the Evil Hero package, and there's not like a consensus of what a good standard hero deck looks like or anything like that. So I've been doing some testing. I actually play tested this last night with my buddy Doug, or Sauceless French from the podcast. And this, to me, is probably the most consistent version of Heroes. Note, it does not play the Fusion Destiny package, and it does not play the Evil Hero package. I do like the Evil Hero cards, but I think it's unnecessarily currently in this format. And I don't like Fusion Destiny because it restricts you into going into only Dark Heroes after you resolved it. And this deck has lots of cards like Absolute Zero, Sunriser, Extra Hero Wonder Driver, and so on and so forth on monsters that you need to be able to play after Fusion Destiny resolves, and that card prevents you from doing that. Plus, we've minimized the amount of bricks you play in the deck. So that's why I like this build the most, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what the deck list looks like. But don't forget to check out the X2 Drop podcast. We should be going back on this week. So enough about that. Let's get into the actual deck profile. So the first 9 cards I'll show you are you want to open 2 of these 3 cards every single game. Doesn't matter how you do it, this is how you get to your win strategy. So I'd play 3 copies of Elemental Hero Stratos. This is the best normal summon in your deck. You don't have a better one. I see some people only playing 2 Stratos, or they only play 2 Ecol, and so on and so forth. I think that's absolutely just incorrect. I think you need to play 3 of this card, because like I said, it's one of the 3 cards that you want to open every single game. So 1 copy of this ensures that you can make a game push. The other one, since we're not playing all the additional cards in the deck, I am playing 3 copies of Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. Again, it's one of the 2 of the 3 cards that you want to open up in every single hand because it guarantees a game push. Plus, this also lets you search your mass change and stuff like that. And it searches additional heroes, so that's why you play it. And then the third card is Elemental Hero Vision Hero, not Elemental Hero, but Vision Hero Fairs. This is 2 of the 3 cards you want to open every single game. So every single one of your hands, the first 2 of the 5 cards you open, you want it to consist of either Shadow Mist Stratos, Stratos Ferris, or Ferris Shadow Mist. Doesn't matter how you get there, doesn't matter which direction it goes, you want your opening hands to look like that, because when you have 2 of those 3 cards in your hand, it guarantees that you have a push for game every single game. And then on for the rest of the monsters, we play 2 copy of Increase. Ferris is no good if you don't have a copy of this in this deck. I have been an advocate of only playing 1 in it, but as of recent, especially now that we're taking most of the bricks out of the deck, I think you need to play 2 copies, just because if you don't have the second copy, you can't make if you draw 1 and don't have one in the deck, you can't make a game push. And that's the best thing this deck does, is just make a game push. 2 copies of Vision Hero Vion. It's the card you're going to summon off Increase most of the time, but it's also one of the better standalone heroes because it can actually get you to Cross Crusader immediately, so keep that in mind. And then the only Destiny hero that we play in the deck is 2 copies of Destiny Hero Malicious. It's the best one to play, and it also keeps your Cross Crusader alive because we don't play cards like Dystopia or anything like that. So you have to play it. And then on for the 1 of Heroes, I play 1 copy of Liquid Soldier, usually using this every single game to fuse for Absolute Zero. 1 copy of Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. Usually this is one of the combos you can use to go first and be able to make Dark Law with under 5 summons, which is really important for a lot of matchups. And then 1 copy of Elemental Hero Honest Neos. It's just for game pushes, and it's an easy. It's a free monster to search. Essentially, is what ends up most of the times. And then we're going to the hand traps. I play 1 high impact hand trap of Nibiru, the Primal Being. You've been seeing this pop up in a lot of my deck profiles lately because, 1, I think it's still really good. It's a high impact end trap, and it's something that actually helps heroes clear the boards because we're not playing the Evil Hero package anymore, so we don't have the massive board wipe and the Malicious Bane. But it's also has very good coverage against the entire meta. It's not the best against Drytron, but after testing with it, you can hit them with Nibiru at critical points, and even if it does get negated, it makes your going second play a lot easier because it actually deals with one of their most important interruptions. So there's that, and then I play 1 low impact hand trap in Ash Blossom. Mainly because I think it's the best generic hand trap currently. So that's why it's in the main deck. And then that's it for the monster counts. On to the spells. We are playing 3 copies of E-Emergency Call. Again, some deck profiles I see people are either cutting E-Call to 2, or they cut Stratus to 2. I just think that's, for hero players personally, I just think it's incorrect because you're taking away the consistency from the deck. And one of the hero vocal points is the fact that the deck is so consistent in opening its starter cards. So I don't understand why you would cut the consistency for me personally. Now, I get that it kind of clogs up sometimes, especially if you already have multiples of cards in hands. But I'd rather take those than consistently not seeing your starter cards. So 3 copies of E-Call, and then 3 copies of Mass Change. This is how you get into your maxed heroes. It's also lets you dodge card. Now, obviously, they're not as prevalent in the format like Valor or Infinite Impermanence, but it lets you dodge specific interactions and stuff like that, especially when they're trying to stop your monsters. So 3 copies of Mass Change, and then for the one-of spells, a hero lives. I never seen the draw it, but you still have to play it. If this deck ever got more copies, I think it'd be a little bit better contender than it is now. The 2 cards that you search, 1 copy of Miracle Fusion and 1 copy of Polymerization. Both are very important. You actually resolve them multiple times in the game, so that's why I think one of the extra deck cards, Extra Hero Wonder Driver, is actually very, very important in the matchup. And then 1 copy of Reinforcements of the Army. I wish we had more copies, but we only have 1, so. And then the best part about Rogue decks is the fact that they can, because their engine requirements are so minimal, you can actually play the broken cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you want to actually be able for this deck to compete and stuff like that, sorry to say you actually have to play cards like this because it just gives your deck the edge that a lot of some decks that can't play it. So we are playing 3 copies of Triple Tactical Talents. Like I said, the best part about your deck is that you get to play the broken cards. So this is a very, very broken card in my mind. I think it has a very good spot in the hero deck just because a lot of the times the biggest interactions that hamper you are hand traps. So being able to take an extra card out of your opponent's hand, take one of their monsters to push for game, so on and so forth. I think the interaction is very, very important. And then because the Dryton matchup is one of your harder matchups, you do have to play 3 copies of Droplets. Like there's no way around it. But yeah, it also the nice thing about Droplets, if you're not negating monster effect, it also reduces the attack points of the monsters that you're attacking. And Hero's big thing is that they summon really big heroes for big game pushes, and the less attack points your opponent's monsters have, more damage you can deal. So that is it for the actual main deck. It's 40 like all my decks. Then on to the extra deck, the really cool Field Center that Say Classy LLC has. I really like the Stratus. I also have the Dark Law too, but I want to do Stratus this time. For the Masked Heroes, 2 copies of Dark Law. It's the best Masked Hero that you're going to summon, especially like for your going first plays. A lot of decks have a really hard time dealing with Macrocosmos, and people forget that this card also rips a card out of your opponent's hand if they make the mistake of searching. So I feel like you do need to play 2 copies. It's just a really, really good Masked Hero. For game pushes, I do play 1 copy of Anki. Not much to say on that one. 1 copy of Acid for the Absolute Zero. It's basically one of your big spot removal plays that you have. I also play 1 copy of Mass Hero Diane. We have extra room in our extra deck because we're not playing cards like Dystopia, Dangerous, Malicious Bane, so you just have extra room to play. So I feel like you need as many options with your Mass Change as you possibly can, because remember, you can also recycle it with Extra Hero Wonder Driver. And then 1 copy of Mass Hero Blast. Arguably, I thought about playing Divine Wind instead of this card, but I think Blast just has more coverage over the format, so that's why we're playing it. Then on for the actual fusion monsters that don't require Mass Change, which is 1 copy of Sunrise. This card is insane. I thought about playing 2, honestly, but for right now, 1's probably just fine. But giving you access to Miracle Fusion and being able to remove cards off the field, because people forget about that effect, and the fact that it also pumps up your monsters is really important. Absolute Zero. This lets you, because we have Liquid Soldier, it's one of the ways you end on the zero acid play, which is really strong in your deck. And then I took this tech actually from Team Samson. I'm also playing 1 copy of Elemental Hero Great Tornado. I just want more options to go into my Miracle Fusion when I don't have access to Liquid Soldier, which surprisingly happens a lot sometimes. And this is probably just one of the best ones to do, because if you don't have access to Liquid Soldier, you almost always have access to Stratus being a win attribute. And then on to the Vision Heroes that I actually play. Since I have room, I am playing the 1 copy of Vision Hero Adoration. It's actually very important. Being able to reduce attack and stuff like that also helps with game pushes. And then the man himself, Vision Hero Trinity, for when you can't run monsters over, but you can still deal damage to your opponent. And then onto the Link monsters. I play 2 copies of Cross Crusader. The first one is for turn 1. The second one is when you're going for your game push. That's all it's there for. But it is the best Link monster we can go into. like I said, kept mentioning, I do play one copy of Extra Hero Wonder Driver. It is not the best link, but it's very necessary because it lets you recycle your mass changes, and it also lets you recycle your Miracle Fusions and your Polymerizations. And then one copy of Dread Decimator for when you're going for the big game push. And that was my hero deck profile for the current format 2021. It's been a while since I've done a hero list, so I figured it'd be cool to actually give you guys one. Especially now for the format, looking for something that you can just play for fun, play for Rogue. Especially with the online format, we're not actually playing a lot of actual IRL tournaments. All these cards are free, so it's just something you can try on Dueling Book if you don't have the cards themselves. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check us out in the next video, and oh, I can't remember what I was going to say, but I think the next profile I'm going to do is probably going to be Adamantipator Prankis, because that deck looks super sick. And then I'm going to try to do Live Twin Eldritch for sure, because we're getting the new Live Twin card in the Blazing Vortex. And I haven't done Drytron yet. It looks like a really cool deck, and I just want to play it. But like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.